Well, hello there. Welcome back to a new week. It's a new vlog. Obviously, this is the second week back. The second vlog after being away for some time. Last week's vlog was us going to meet Richie for the first time over at the Yellow Brick Road. We flew all the way from Melbourne, all the way to Perth in Western Australia. That's flying across the entire country. And, you know, it's a big trip. It's not actually that many hours on the plane. It's about 4 hours on the plane, but extremely fun. And it was really good to meet him. And if you want to see more about kind of what happened there, I would go and check out that video. Otherwise, this week, we're actually getting back into doing work in the shed, which is what it's all about. So I've got a few things planned for this week. We've got a bunch of minifigures that need to be uploaded. We've got a ton of sets that need to be completed and listed. And in turn, with all those minifigures and all those sets coming to the platform, we'll need to push all of those listings to eBay as well. We have been doing some really good eBay sales recently. We usually get at least an order or two a day on eBay, which is absolutely fantastic. Usually just a figure or two. So the plan is to try and get a ton of that stuff moved over to eBay this week. And that's just a lot of computer work. So not a lot of filming involved there, but the actual uploading and completion of those sets and minifigures will be really cool to see kind of behind the scenes of. Also, we bought some stuff in Perth. So as soon as I jump off here, we're going to go and jump in and I'll show you what we bought, which we can actually do right now. Well, here we go. It doesn't look like a lot. There is, I believe, 1 or 2 sets missing from here. There was a city set that we picked up in an op shop, as well as a couple more of those Ninjago sets that are sitting over in that box that are still with Harrison that will be coming down probably tomorrow night, actually. But let's take a look at what we've got here. Probably we'll start off with the main attraction, which is the beautiful Snow White and the Seven Dwarves set, which is absolutely brilliant and something that we wouldn't usually have picked up. There is some box damage, as you can see in that corner. It's been squished a bit, but the reason why we picked it up was it was 40% off. Maya, which is an outlet store over here in Australia, was having a pretty good sale on some of the sets, including this guy, as well as these Ninjago packs, which will be really good for those figures that come in there. Now, we got a ton of them for parting out mainly. Now, Maya only had a couple, but then we stopped by a different store, I think David Jones, and we price matched to Maya, so we picked up some more of those. I think there's a mix of 2. I think there's a Kai and a Nia. Yeah, there's the other one. So there's the Kai one, and that's the Nia one. So we've got a few of those, a couple of mix. We'll put those onto a shelf and part them out when we get to it. We also stopped by at an op shop. This was there, sealed, $12. It's actually a not bad part out, so when we get to parting out, that can be done as well. Usually, obviously, I don't like buying one-off sets to part out. However, we're at an op shop. I'm not going to pass off Lego because you don't see that too often. And there was one other city set, which was kind of large, that was at an op shop as well, also sealed, and it was just a good enough deal for the part out. So this is what we picked up. This was the small haul. It was a tough time to squeeze it into the suitcases, but we got it in. We did think that we might have had to ship it all down here, but it all fit, which was pretty good. Oh, and we did pick up one other thing, which is in my bag just over there, which was a CMF, a Wolfpack fighter or a knight or something from the one of the recent series. I can't remember which one, but he's like $25, I believe, at the moment, or $20 at the moment. So, and obviously we only paid $5 or $6 for him. So that was pretty good. So we just whipped out the scanning tool, and Richie helped us find one of those. He had enough, apparently. He's got a couple in storage, so sitting on those and for a rainy day, I suppose. So anyway, these are really cool. We are just going to shove them on a shelf. I'm probably going to sell this one as is rather than parting out, but I haven't decided yet. I'm not 100% sure on it. So we will see what happens. It's just they'll be stuck on a shelf for now, and we'll go from there, I think. So we'll put these away, but that's to start off with. Now, I mentioned the figures that we were going to do this week, which are just over here. We bought a massive minifigure lot a few weeks ago, and obviously I haven't been doing much Lego work recently. We're just getting back into it now, so I'll finally have a chance to actually attack those boxes. There is a ton of minifigures there. We believe there is about 700 figures there. So that is going to be a really good restock. A lot of them are not going to be completable, but there's going to be a ton of minifigure pieces that at least get put onto the store. So we're going to work through that stuff as well. Hopefully a good time lapse will do that well. Some other stuff that we've actually picked up recently. We bought some more of these organizers, these yellow ones. They're slightly different to the ones that we currently have. We use these not for the container, but for the individual containers inside for order picking and packing. Now, we were coming up with an issue where new parts and used parts we separate when we ship them and when we pack them. And sometimes we have somebody picks an order and then somebody else ships that order. So they don't know what containers are used and what are new. Usually you can look at the parts and you can relatively tell, but sometimes some of our used parts are really good, so you can't actually tell. And we don't want to mix those up. So I bought a different color. So I bought these yellow ones. Unfortunately, they are not the same size, so they are different. And they're a bit less, they're not as good of a quality, but obviously I think we only paid like $10 a box for these. So, you know, we got what we paid for pretty much. But we're going to use these yellow ones, which we have been for the last week or so, for our new parts. So when people are picking orders on our carts and going down the line, they'll put the new parts separated into those. So our carts are just back there at the moment and over there. There you can see our orange containers that we use. We put on the cart, the laptop gets put onto the computer stand, and we go about our business and we pick them. But instead of just having the orange containers now, we will add those yellow containers as well. So when they get all put onto the table down here, our shipper will be able to tell the difference between what is new and what is used and be able to bag those separately. Brilliant. So that is something there. We bought 6. So those 3 are there, and then there's another 3 in that cardboard box over there that we'll unpack at a later date. I've got to find a spot for all of that stuff down the line, but we'll have a look. My desk is actually looking a bit better. Last night I did a bit of a tidy up. We had a bunch of bags here with overflow parts that I finally got around to putting away. I labeled a few more of those large drawers that are down here, that unit here, and we've put some of those parts away. So that's really nice to see. I've got to get those lights on. And the other thing that I did was, at the end of last week's vlog, I showed off a box, a really big cardboard box full of Bricklink orders that we had placed to complete the sets that are in all of those boxes over there. So we've been part checking sets and stockpiling them all up there. They've all got wanted lists, and a few weeks ago, we placed a ton of orders, I believe like 40 orders, and most of those have come in. I think we're only missing 3 orders now. So this is what remains. This is what is all of the parts from those Bricklink orders that we placed to complete all of those sets. We're waiting on 3 more, but we've gotten all of this in, which is really good to see. And basically what I did was I opened each order and I verified them. I marked the order as complete. If there was only 1 order, which was really lucky out of all of them, that had an issue. So I've sent a message to the seller, and hopefully they are able to fix that up and potentially send us the correct piece out. But we'll wait to hear from them. So there's a ton of awesome stuff in here that I'm going to use to complete all of the sets in there. The sets that are currently on the table here are already complete. Some already nice ones there. The NES, Obi-Wan Starfighter, and a few simpler sets there. But we're going to hopefully get to go through those this week and complete a bunch, and then take all of our beautiful cellophane bags, which are just sitting over there. And I think we have some stockpiled up in the rafters somewhere as well. And we'll be able to go through them, bag them up, and turn them into our beautiful pre-owned used sets that we'll be able to take it with us to markets. So that is the plan. So that's the goal for today, at least. Not today, for this week. I think I'm going to start off today with a little bit of admin work. I've got to respond to some messages and stuff, and we'll see where the day takes us. I do have a contractor coming in to pack some orders and ship some orders, and we've also got to do a bit of, we're talking a bit more about some back-end stuff here at the BrickShed that I've alluded to in the last vlog, a reason why I've been away. So I've got to talk to him about that as well, which I will still remain secretive on. Anyway, I'm going to get to work, and I'll probably jump on a bit later when I have something more interesting to say. All right, whipping out the camera because I'm doing something interesting. We have decided to go through all of the stuff that we got in all of those orders. So I've just poured all of the parts into here. We've got minifigures over there, and we have the instructions set over to the side. And I'm just going to work through all of my wanted lists. I've pulled down the boxes with all of our incomplete sets, which were up there on top of the filing cabinets, and I'm just going to go through them one by one. Wanted lists, fill the parts in, complete what I can. I am missing 3 orders, and they are quite large orders from overseas. They're still yet to arrive, so I will be, not all of these sets will be completed, but some of them definitely will be. So I'm going to do all that, and at the end I'll show you what I've done. All right, all of those boxes have been dealt with. We actually emptied a whole one of them that been put up back on top of the filing cabinet. And this is all of the stuff that we've completed. There's a lot here. I'm not going to take you through them all, but we did all of those sets. These were already done. Some really nice stuff in here. We got the Batwing done, a couple of good Star Wars sets. There's some nice stuff in here. There'll be some good value. So I'm going to spend the rest of the day bagging all that stuff up. That's going to be a big job, and then potentially listing, photographing it as well for eBay. But that's going to be a lot of work. So I'm going to keep working through that. I do want to get it off the desk, so it is a priority. So I'm going to keep going with that. The other thing I did was I ordered some brand new parts for these sticker pieces. We found a half-used sticker sheet for a Republic gunship, and I was able to get new parts. I've got new stickers, and I put them together, and I get new sticker parts. So those are there. There are none new available in the world for any of these parts, which is really, really good. And in Australia, even the used parts alone, there's not many available. So this is some good value. I'm putting $30 a piece on these two. I've got 35 on this one, and I've got 20 on this one. So some nice things. So we're going to get those listed. I've done this before, and they've sold pretty well. So we'll get this stuff listed. I also got 2 plumes. One of them I need to complete this chap. So I'll get those listed as well eventually, with probably when I do the rest of the figures. But I'll get those listed. There's a couple of parts. I haven't listed much in the past few weeks, so this will be good, just kind of get it started, and then I'll keep working through these, bag them up, and I might show you the process at the end, potentially once it's all done. But I do have I'll have somebody in the next hour or so, and I also am getting a bit hungry, so I might make myself some lunch. But yeah. Well. That took practically the entire day. So from, sets in boxes to pulling the parts from our orders, putting them into the sets, updating the wanted lists, as well as then bagging everything up and labeling each set and listing them all. It took quite a while. Obviously, we put a lot of effort and care into making sure that each of these sets looks absolutely mint for the customer when they receive it, either when they're buying it at the market and they're actually viewing this in person, or if they're purchasing it online and when they receive it, it's still very nicely packaged, color sorted and whatnot. So for the most part, all of the sets were already color sorted, bar a couple of the small ones, which we don't bother color sorting. But there is quite a few sets here. There are 25 sets in total, and the total value on all of these sets is over $2,000, which is absolutely fantastic. Some of the sets we have inflated the price by a little bit, mainly the cheaper Minecraft sets. The more expensive stuff, we go off what the value is. But for example, this set at $40 for a used set, it's probably a lot closer to $30 for a used set, or maybe even $25. But just because of the amount of figures that are in the set, we have to bump it up because those figures alone are usually worth more than what the set is worth. So especially that price is, this set is not intended to sell online, but mainly meant to be sold at a market. So that price is market price. So is a market price, not the market price. Whereas if we take some of the more expensive sets, for example, below here is the Batwing for $275. That's pretty much what it's worth. There's no added, we don't add anything on that. It's just the value of the set. So that's really awesome. So over $2,000 worth of sets, and we haven't uploaded sets in quite some time. So that's going to be a nice little bump to the inventory value, as well as our sets kind of inventory. And we're hoping to do a market in a couple of months as well, early September possibly. So these sets will be, well looked at, at that event. We have to also photograph them all and get them onto eBay, but that is a job for another day. Contractor in, packed orders. We did spend a bit of time yapping on about kind of some stuff that's going on in the back end. So he was only able to pack the orders. I'll have to ship those tomorrow morning, but that's all right. No harm done. He's pretty efficient, so that's all right. A couple of things missing, as you can see. There's some pieces of paper in some of those orders that I need to attend to. Unfortunately, there was an expensive minifigure missing from that order. It looks like I've shipped the wrong Iron... Oh, sorry, somebody has shipped the wrong Iron Man and kept the wrong one in the drawer. So I'm going to have a word to some of my workers and let them know that they need to be checking the figures. And it's really cool to see some more of our boxes selling. So we uploaded a bunch of boxes a few weeks ago, and that one's just sold to the US, which is pretty awesome. The other thing is that we are sending out the last 4 boxes of our bulk. So that is about 100 kilos more of the bulk. It's the last of it. I thought we had another 150, but I was wrong. So that's okay. I'm not sure where the other bit went. It might be out somewhere else. But another 4 boxes of those going out to actually the same contractor who did orders today. He actually did about 100 kilos prior to this. So he's practically taken it all. So he's going to take this, hopefully complete that over the next couple of weeks, bring it all back together. We'll put it all together, and we'll start the process of B sorting and whatnot. So that's really fantastic that we've gotten all of that bulk pretty much sorted. So looking good on that front. So that's going to be sent out. And otherwise, I'm going to spend the rest of the night just putting these sets away, figuring, doing a little bit of desk tidy up. There's some admin work I've got to do. We have heard back from Australia Post about the e-parcel contract, and it looks like that's going to go ahead. So that's really fantastic because it's taken a bloody long time, almost 2 months to work that out. So that is absolutely fantastic. So it looks like we're going to be approved for that, and in turn will make shipping easier for our pickers and packers, which is great. Tomorrow, I'm not in all day. I mean, maybe half the day. So I will ship those orders and do a little bit of a tidy up and possibly get a start on all of those wonderful minifigures in there. The other thing that's happening tomorrow is Harrison is coming down. He's dropping off a bunch of stuff, actually a bunch of draw units, which is really great. You might ask, where is it going to go? But it's all right. I've got some ideas. The back shelf here, we're going to turn into another space for drawers. So like we have there, this shelf here is going to be some stuff's going to be moved around. The shelf is actually going to be moved across. So there's a gap there, and we're going to put another 9 units on there, which will be perfect for our pickers. So that's going to happen. And then the rest of them can actually fit behind the units on this wall. So these are only currently 1 thick. If I can move it, so as you can see, there's a bunch of gap behind there. So we can put a bunch of them and store them behind there with the empty space. But these will all shift down by 9 units. So there'll be another space for another 9 units there after we move them all down. So that's going to be really good. So the view of the end of this alley also will be draw units, which will be great because I hate looking at all the shed stuff, and I hate having my staff looking at that. So that's going to be a plus as well. Kind of just the view is going to get a whole lot better. Anyway, I'm going to head back in. I'm going to get back to work. Got a little bit more oomph in me. It is a bit late. I think we're at 6:30 or so. I do want to get some dinner into me, but otherwise, it's been a good day. Well. Welcome to whatever day it is. It's sometime in the afternoon. Oh, it's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Few things have been happening over the past day or so. All of the sets that you would have seen on the table have all been listed, photographed, put onto eBay, and then put away. into all of the drawers. Some of them did end up going up there. I still haven't done the two big sets, the Batwing as well as the Nintendo NES. Still have to get to those. And on top of that, we got two more of the orders came in, both international. I think we're waiting on only just one more order for that. So I'll be able to pack all of these pieces away, and I think this completes a couple more sets, which is absolutely fantastic. What else? The other day, we went up to Melbourne on Sunday, and we dropped off a bunch of orders to our local Lego user group, who we did a promotion with them. We allowed 15% off to all of those members, and if their order was over $50, we did a drop-off. If you guys run a Bricklink store, I would definitely recommend getting in touch with your local Lego user group, or even just your surrounding Lego user groups. So we went up to Melbourne. We do also have a Geelong one. It's a lot smaller. The Melbourne one is massive. There's a lot of members. We didn't do that many total orders, but it was about $1,500 worth of sales, which was pretty good. And that was after the discount. So we were happy to do that and happy to help them out. We've got a lot of friends in that community. So that's what we did on Sunday. Harrison came down that night and dropped off a ton more of these draw units, which we got from the original store purchase, which was all of this stuff. As you can see, they're the same kind. And they are now filled that entire shelf. So behind that layer of usable shelves, there is another second layer. And now, I think, have I already shown you this? I may have already shown you this. It's highly possible. Oh God, I can't remember what I've filmed and what I haven't filmed. So yeah, and more behind there. And there's more coming as well as he dropped off a couple of these things as well. There's another small box of bulk, a red storage container, as well as that city set, which we bought while we were in Perth. Today, the plan is as follows. Contractor, he will be coming in. He will be packing orders. On the note of packing orders, we have recently did a small little upgrade to the carts and added these baskets. I added those baskets yesterday, so we can put all the containers in there, and they kind of fit nicely. I think they work really well. And I also purchased. Sorry, it's a bit dark back here. I purchased some of these little notebooks because we use little bits of paper when there's something missing, but this is a bit more professional. So that is what I'll get our pickers to use, and then they just put it in the order. And at the end, once they've shipped them all, or once they've packed them all, they can then do all process refunds and manage the customer service side of things. For me, for today, the plan is to attack all of these beautiful minifigures. I'm hoping to do a time lapse and try to process as many as possible. There's definitely CMF mixed in there, so whether they get completed with accessories or not, I'll have to see what happens. There's a lot of incomplete figures in there as well. There's a ton of animals. There's a bunch to do, but I want to get them cleared off the table so I can take photos of these because I need a big blank white kind of background. So I'm going to do that today. That is the plan. That's going to take me all day. It's already the afternoon. I haven't done much today, so I'll work probably well into the evening, but we're going to start getting a crack on that. I'll probably time-lapse some of it. We'll see where I get up to, but we're going to kick us off with that. The other thing I want to do this week is process all of the bricks and plates that are lying around the shed. They have been lying around for some time, and I need to get a hold of them. And they need to be dealt with. All of the bulk is currently being sorted, so hopefully that gets done soon. I've reached out to also one of our catalogers who used to do cataloging for us. I thought he wasn't going to be able to do any more for us this year, but he may be able to do a little bit more. So fingers crossed that kind of goes through. So I'm going to get to this, and then at the end of the day, if I still have time, I will deal with those and bag up any more sets that I complete as well as listing them. All right, we're going to get to work. I'm really excited to get through these minifigures. There's about 700 in here as far as I'm aware. But yeah, a lot of these won't be complete. So I'm hoping maybe we get 400 complete figures. That would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome. All right, let's get to it. Well, we haven't started a time lapse yet, but we have started to upload some of the minifigure pieces. What we started by doing was sorting all of those boxes of figures, and we have sorted them into minifigure parts as well as possibly complete figures, which are just over there. And then there's the damaged stuff in those two containers. So I'm currently working through the containers of good minifigure pieces. We had 5 of these at the start. We've got 1.5 left. Most of it's been uploaded so far, but we're going to keep going with that. I think I've done almost $1,000 of minifigure parts already, and we are already pushing our 30k lot count again, which is really good to see because we were below 30,000 lots yesterday. Otherwise, we will continue on and press forward. We have a contractor coming in. He'll do some orders and a few other odd jobs. I might even start him on the bulk parts and get him to start doing those, but we'll see that. We'll see if that ends up happening. I've got a few odd jobs that needs to be done, but I'll get back to you soon. I'll probably talk to you later tonight. Good morning. It is... What day is it today? Thursday here in the BrickShed. It's Thursday morning and we're getting a start on today's jobs. So yesterday was, we did all the parts uploading, which has pushed our lot count back up to over 30,000, which was really fantastic. But today we're going to start off by getting a hold of these figures and getting a start on them. So I've got to file them all. They have all been condition checked, but I will go over them once more. But yeah, I've got to make a file for them all. I'll do a time lapse and then I've got to get their barcodes printed out. Put all their labels on and then put them away into the figure drawers. So that's the first start. I'm hoping for 150 figures. That's the goal. I think the other day I was hoping for like 300, but after reassessing and realizing how much damaged stuff was in that lot, I think 150 is more feasible. So we're going to get started on these and I'm going to start a time lapse. We'll get through them. We'll see what kind of value we've got in them. I believe so far with all of those figure parts, we've gotten $2,000 listed in value and we paid $700 for everything. So we are on the right track and there will definitely be $1,000 here. So we're going to get started on this. We do have a contractor coming in this afternoon. He will be packing orders. The other day we had a contractor in, last night. Actually, no, it was yesterday afternoon, and he was doing some other stuff, not orders. So behind me, I'm going to twist the camera around, is a big stack of tubs. And those tubs used to sit underneath there, which were all of our bee boxes. But I have mentioned in previous videos that I wanted to get rid of them and to not have boxes anymore. So he's started to move all of that stuff out and move them into the drawers and stuff. A lot of stuff going into the A drawers, but there was also a lot of instruction booklets in there. So they've ended up in the filing cabinets. So that's really good. There's only 4 boxes left, I believe, which is absolutely good to see. So I'm going to have to find a new use for all of those bins. I still got to do those parts from those 2 Bricklink orders that we got in and complete those sets that they complete, which will be the Simpsons house, I think an Indiana Jones set possibly, and maybe the Star Destroyer? Oh, and Thor's hammer, the big Thor's hammer set. But I'll do that later today as well. So I'm going to start with these figures. We'll see how much I get through. I'll do the sets, fingers crossed, and I might even do some animals. Who knows? But anyway, we're going to jump straight into a time lapse. I'll catch you all soon. Go. All of those figures have wonderfully been filed away. So we were hoping for 150 figures, and we got there. We did. So some real winners, I think. I mean, a lot of cheaper, kind of more simpler items, and I did add a couple of figures that were just sitting on my desk. The 2 Forestmen being the ones specific, because I've been waiting for those plumes. So I added those, but otherwise, all of that came from the original $700 lot. We were hoping for $1,000, and we got there. We got exactly $1,001. So there's the total. So we've got 142 figures, 8 more figures or a couple more figures to go. These are just some CMF that I pulled out to the side that I'll be able to complete with accessories and stands, and we'll upload those separately. But some nice ones here. Best one being the black Forestman. Obviously not with the black plume, but that black torso alone makes that figure really, really good. So $36 on him. Obviously, he wasn't a part of the original lot. The most expensive figure in the actual lot was wherever I can find him. He's somewhere up there. There he is. William Shakespeare from the Lego Movie at $28, followed by Doc Brown for $26. So some nice figures there. But yeah, mainly the cheaper stuff, kind of, you know, $6, $7 figures, a couple of $5 figures as well, but some really nice ones for markets. So we're going to now label 166 total. Sorry, there's 166 figures here, not 142. There's 142 different figures. So we've got 166 figures here. We're going to label them all up and get them put into the figure drawers, which are over there, which is really fantastic. So a nice little haul. It's taken me a little while, but I'm, you know, taking my time, making sure that I, you know, take my time with it and get them all condition checked properly. So anyway, we're going to move on. I'm going to get these labeled up, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, good morning. Today is Saturday, and we are kicking us off. This is the end of the vlog. It's been really good to get back to business, kind of get back to basics, doing some uploading, getting things into the store, kind of getting back into the rhythm of things after being away for so long. Not away, but just not kind of focused on store work. So over the past couple of days that I haven't filmed, we have gotten through a bunch of stuff. So we finished uploading all those minifigures that I did a time-lapse from, and we've done a massive restock. So our beautiful figure drawers look amazing. They are very well restocked, and I've moved some of them over to eBay. I still have about 130 minifigures to go, which is okay. $6 is very full at the moment, all the way to the back. You can see our wonderful labeling. So yeah, we've added a lot of new figures, and I've got to just push the rest of them over to eBay. And even the ones that we have pushed over to eBay, we are already seeing some sales. Even some of the sets that we pushed over as well, they sold pretty quickly. The other thing I did yesterday was we had a massive tub of animals that we needed to be worked through. I've still got a little bit left, all the small stuff, but I did all the larger animals, or the medium-sized animals, yesterday. So that's all of these guys here, and I've loaded them up in here, and they're down in the bottom two drawers as well. Right now, the remark that I'm using for animals is literally just animal, and the pickers are just having to go through all of those places and try and find them. I'm going to come up with a new system for them. I just don't know what that system is going to be yet. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. It's really easy if the animals are in drawers because, you know, it's the same system, but I want to take them to markets. So we're bagging them in cellophane bags and putting barcodes on them so we can sell them at markets. But I don't know how I want to store them, because I want to have them ready to go for markets, just like our figures, where I store them like this, I pick them like this, and then I take these to a market and I just pull out the base plate and chuck it on the table, and it's all ready to go. So I've got to figure out a way to do that for the animals. It's just some of the animals are really similar. So these two are looking identical, and even the part number is almost the same except for the last digit, a 2 versus a 1. And we need to make sure that they're being picked correctly. Same thing with the sharks, you know. All the sharks look really similar, and to somebody who's not a Lego person, who doesn't do this 24/7, it can be tricky to tell the difference. So I have to come up with some kind of way for that, and I've got to kind of do some brainstorming. Started to work through some of those plates that we've got lying around, the plates and bricks. Starting to get counts on these items, so I'll be able to start uploading these over the weekend, which is really fantastic. Contractor will be in tomorrow, not today, but we've done some really good stuff this week, and I'm really glad. I've got to whip on the lights, but pretty happy with how things are going. In regards to next week, the big thing that we're going to start with is going to be, we're going to do that back bit there. So that shelf there is going to be turned into more drawers, and we'll have to rearrange some stuff. So that's what we're going to start next week's vlog out with, which I'm excited for. I've got to tidy up some stuff, kind of get things tidied. I've got to do these 2 last sets. I've still got to process the Bricklink orders that came through. A few other things, but, you know, things are looking good. So, happy days. Anyway, thank you very much for watching another video. I'm going to see you all next week. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you.